So let us make the offerings and dedication, and we'll then do the chant on the full boundless qualities, suffusion with divine abidings. To the Blessed One, the Lord who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, to these the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teaching so completely explained by him, I vow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I vow to the Sangha. Now let us pay our preliminary homage to the Buddha, homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened One. Now let us make the four boundless qualities shine forth. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with loving kindness, abundant exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with compassion. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with compassion, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a heart imbued with gladness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, the mind imbued with gladness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a mind imbued with equanimity. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a mind imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. So these beautiful heart qualities, yeah, that sense of actually having them suffusing, present, expansive, yeah. And they're all needed. Yeah. Metta karuna, no? Love and compassion, we get a lot of encouragement for, yeah, within the broader frame of things. Equanimity, but this quality of mudita, joy, quality of capacity to really resonate with goodness needs to be there as well. And I think about what it means to have a heart that is capable of resonating with that. And throughout the teaching, there are these places where you get a sense of the importance of these kind of rising energies, these really buoyant heart states is needed. It's there in the factors of a mind deepening into samadhi, the sense of piti, that kind of rising delight. It's there in the enlightenment factors as one of the essential qualities for a mind that's capable of waking up. But how good at it are we? Yeah. How do we understand it? This energy that is capable of delight, that has thankfulness as part of it, yeah. Appreciation. This medicine for arati, for kind of dryness, greyness, kind of flatness. So it to me, it's an ongoing inquiry. You know, I mentioned before, I have my father down the road, half an hour down the road. And I was down there not so long ago. I tried to go down there and spend time there, really consistently. And I was down there, and there's some other family there. And someone casually said something about something being fun. And my dad, who used to be really quiet, said, "I object to the use of that word in that way." And we went, "Oh, all right." So it became an inquiry into fun, what was the way that was wrong about how it was being used. And then they said to me, "Oh, what do you think fun is?" Now, before I'd gone down, I'd been up on the ladder, cleaning out the gutters. I got late with all of those kind of autumn jobs because we'd been away. And so I said, "Oh, cleaning the gutters, And I was just remembering that sense of relief that comes when something that needs doing is done, kind of satisfaction that can come, and there's some kind of elemental ease of being there with the kind of slippery, cold leaves and out in the air, even though it's winter air and cold. So, and they all objected. That could not be my example of fun. So it went into this whole exploration. What was allowable, according to my dad, to be fun? And in the end, the discussion came to the place of talking about an experience he'd had really in the autumn, where he'd gone with one of my sisters to the East Coast and been in the waves and the water. He said, even though he's now really unsteady, he's got a bit older, that just playing in the waves, that was fun. We could all agree, that sense of being picked up in the sea, not if the waves are too drastic, but in kind of manageable ways. The sense of fun has joy and playfulness in it. It's not work in the sense that it has no agenda. It's not trying to get anything. It's just this availability for delight and play. And I went home after, all right, how, what's my capacity for that? And there are certainly, in the same way, I find water, being in the waters at Rotorua, has that element to it, a kind of uplift in it. It's not heavy. And just that sense of where are we drinking in this quality that has lightness in it. And where are we attuning to what is really beautiful and strong and capable of meeting us in a different way of considering it, and in working therapeutically with people. The work is between a pair of you to meet what is afflictive as part of what happens. But if you're just meeting that, if that's where the mind is adhering, it doesn't work. Because in this process, there's also got, in that same moment, there's also got to be an appreciation of strength and capacity of both people. We have to hold things in kind of balance. So that, if I look at somebody and there may be things that are very difficult happening, but there are also tremendous strengths happening. And it's the same here too, that I can feel the things that for. Compassion is needed for. And then there are things that I can look at and allow joy, appreciation for. Sometimes even that I'm here, opening. This is a tremendous strength, and isn't it, in terms of Dhamma practice, it's really beautiful qualities, our capacity to stay willing to meet things. Yeah. But this joy, having it as a cultivation, as a part of things coming into balance. And I don't know about you, but the whole kind of middle way has always been really tricky. This balance, the balance between the kind of restraint, and the not getting into being too austere, too relaxed, coming into this middle ground. And different times in my practice of the only small paint a line on the ground, so I'd know I was actually, that I was practicing in a right way, suitable. I wasn't sleeping too much, but I wasn't being harsh and unresponsive to the body's needs. These different ways we're having to negotiate where the middle is. Think, if only there was a line. But of course there's not, because the Dhamma practice is this ongoing inquiry about where is the place of balance? Where is the place of harmony and truth? It's not a spot somebody can point to. It feels more like being on a rolling ball where you just have to stay attuned and in balance. It's got more aliveness in it. So really feeling for ourselves, where is this balance? When do we need, as we're sitting, when do we need to actually attune to this quality? And if we think of these heart inflections as medicines, when is this quality of being able to drink in joy and goodness needed? So that the whole being, the whole energetic, the chitta can stay upright. And my experience is that if you've got a kind of a bit of a mind like this, you have to train yourself in a funny way to be capable of joy, to let what is beautiful in. Now, we'll all be in different places with this. So for some of you, it may not feel like the medicine that is needed, but for many of us it is. So that when the tui sings outside, I can let the loveliness of that just pass through the chitta. It's not that I have to hold it on, because I can't, but that I can feel the beauty of the world, natural world, particularly around me, and let that give me strength. I suddenly realized it's a very funny thing for me to say, because years back when I was in Thailand practicing, before I went to England or India or anywhere, I was in this real state, in a way, really hardly sleeping, just going hell for leather with the practice. And I went to the monk who was then senior where I was staying, and I said, he was asking me something, and he said to me, "You need to hear the birds singing." And I kind of went, they're impermanent, what earth are you talking about? And kind of, and then had to reflect on it. That the mind had actually got caught in a kind of view of the practice and wasn't really receptive to what was here. And throughout the suttas, you get this recognition of an appreciation for what is beautiful and alive. Mahakassapa, how these rocks delight me. The beauty of the plants around, the sound of the waterfall, how these delight me. So we don't want to take a position against this quality. And how to actually get so the heart is capable of it. Because in meditation, as you know, when there's the piti, the feelings, the uprising energy happen, if we're not familiar with them, they can just throw us out of the meditation. Yeah? If they're not integrated, if we don't understand them. So we practice them within the beauty of quiet mind, and we practice them in the beauty of the world around us. So we really have this capacity. To really, we can receive all of it. Our hearts can tremble with the suffering of beings, the suffering of the planet, the rivers, particularly the ocean. All these ways there can be affliction, but we can also tremble with the beauty of sunlight falling on the ground, a patch of sky, so that we're not toppled over. We really, we're fully capable. So I guess just an encouragement to really review and see, well, is this a quality I'm allowing to be cultivated? To really blossom and be part of my felt experience. Not a kind of giddy joy, but a really grounded, embodied appreciation. So when I'm practicing this quality of mudita, the sense of really being able to receive goodness of all kinds of shapes and colours, to be really present for it. And the easiest access for me to it is through this quality of thankfulness. These last days, people have actually fed me. Elizabeth, who I'm here with, got me a meal today. And she wasn't here. I went out to the kitchen on 2 days and someone had put a meal into the house. One of my sisters, And wow, all around there are these gestures of support to be thankful for. And some of them are as intimate as that, someone preparing us food, and some aren't quite so close. And at times we get more direct contact with these people directly, helping this being. And other times, as I was saying the other day, we can receive it simply through the food that comes, even if I prepare it myself. But the food has come from all over the planet. Or I sit in this room and I won't start reeling off all the beings that make it possible for me to be here. Through different kinds of acts of goodness. And it's the same with yourselves. So in times where it feels grey or hard, or it's hard to feel really connected, my encouragement is that we cultivate this quality. It's the medicine for arati, for greyness, for kind of tiredness, a kind of lack of connectedness. And that, as we've been saying right in the title of the retreat, that we really let breath have this, recognize, in fact, the imprint of the breath has with love and connection with life itself. And so wherever you are, when you attune and feel the breath happening, you feel your place in the order of things. It's a message, it's a constant message that can bring joy. Whatever anybody is saying, whatever is going on, the truth is, when breath comes and touches us, it fills us with life. Life, love, connection. So to stay connected with this, because all kinds of messages can be coming down the wire, can't they? From outside, yeah. And particularly as we engage with the world. You say, but let me come back to the fundamentals. You stay really upright and attuned. Let me feel attuned to the tui drinking nectar outside, to the wind passing through the trees, to this heart that wants to be kind and generous. Let me really drink these things in so that I really stay capable. And I really feel my birthright as a waking up being. This movement everything has to come out of affliction. Some of you can see just out this window here, yeah? Little birds, cats, all kinds of creatures have been going past, evidently. And one of them has been a little guinea fowl, or big guinea fowl, a kind of odd bird to have at this place, because they're not native or anything, but it turned up. And really watching this being who we thought had been killed and then miraculously reappeared, it's just its search for comfort and ease and freedom from any kind of distress. Yeah. One day I was here in a huge rainstorm and this little bird was all hunched up and wet. And I put a little shelter up on its chair and just went and nestled underneath it. Yeah. I think, yeah, even a guinea fowl who's got the smallest head on a bird you could imagine, instinctively goes to places of ease. Yeah. And even a guinea fowl who turns up, yeah, from being really wild when it starts to understand it's safe, it calms down. And the steer guinea fowl, every cat in the whole radius, and there might be about 15 of them, watches it when it goes everywhere. It seems to have the whole neighborhood fascinated. But it's safe. Some maybe because it's bigger than them all. Yeah. Wow, just this bird, who moves to what brings it well-being. Let me be the same. Let me be able to relax into safety and recognize it. Yeah, let me take this being out of any kind of danger or any kind of unhelpful conditions and take shelter. Yeah. And we can look at the world around us, and it just can keep us encouraged. Yeah. Not to make more of the awareness of the bird, but I don't know what it's thinking, but I can see what it's doing. So it becomes, for me, just a reminder. And when it looked like it had died, it was one of our practice nights, and some of the sisters who come here to practice came in, and they were really distressed because they'd found a dead bird on the road, but it was a different kind of bird. And so they'd carefully taken it off the road, put it in something, put it out by our rocks, and said to me, and everyone was kind of a tremble. And I thought, now this bird's been here for quite a long time, particularly for the gardener whose things it's all ripping up. But everyone has grown to love it. It's funny what our hearts are like, isn't it? This tenderness we have for beings. Yeah? And to really let that tenderness and appreciation also be for our own being, our own awakening consciousness. So we really take care. The sisters, they took care of the being, and they really wanted to take care of those of us that live here, so that we hadn't come across this bird, kind of what they thought had been got by a cat. Well, there was so much care and so much love. And then the next morning I went out and there was the bird again. Kind of miracles are everywhere. And just that, for me, I just sat and I thought, they've been so kind. And so we take in the kindness people show us. So we come out of a sense of alienation. And there are so many gestures of kindness, aren't there? Personal, impersonal, that mean we can each be here. And to let them bring joy and gladness to the heart. So that we have the capacity, to cultivate the other Brahma Vihara, metta, karuna, upekkha. We can't leave mudita out. So maybe that's enough, but just this encouragement to really reflect on joy.
Sadhu, 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 Annamodami.
Thank you. So let us come into a time of sitting together. So let us chant the sharing of blessings together. Maybe before we start, just to connect with your own goodness and cultivation. Yeah, and then we're offering it up to this vast array of beings, understood, maybe not understood, just a real scattering across all the realms. Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspiration. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the sun and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through this act of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nirvana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. Unsurpassed is the protection of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all these, may darkness and delusion be disfound.
enlightened and blessed one. I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed one. The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha.
Thank you all. Lovely to practice with you.